couldn't get in. So yes, it was incredibly rewarding to actually get into the school. So that in itself, but now comes the next challenge, which is actually getting on the field and contributing and playing. All right. So here's what happened. Like I mentioned earlier in today's video. All right. It was years. This was years before what we now know as the transfer portal. All right. So when I transferred from a Division II program to a Division I program, even though I redshirted, and again, this was news that even Coach P, who was the head coach at Stony Brook, this was the first year that he hasn't been the head coach at Stony Brook. Even Coach P didn't know about this rule. He didn't know that when a person transfers from a D2 program, then goes transfer to a JUCO and then back to a 4-year Division I program, this person now is not eligible. This player is not eligible to play in any games, because you got to think, I wasn't eligible to play in any games. And this wasn't Division II Carson Newman. This was now Division I FCS Stony Brook University, where they're actually paying guys and they have guys on full scholarship. So you can't have just anybody out there running around. You have to actually have there needs to be some legitimate process. And if me being a person that wasn't even eligible to play in any games, Coach P had to make the decision to say, hey, is it even worth having this guy in camp? So I knew that going in. And I remember actually being in New York Stony Brook's in Long Island, New York, by the way. So I remember being in New York, and I remember going to Coach Goff's office. Now, at this point, look, I know I'm not playing in the NFL. At this point, I'm a sophomore in college. I know I've done 2 years in college, so I'm getting ready to start my junior year in college. I've matured from when I was a freshman. So I went to Coach Goff during that time, and Coach Goff, again, he's been my position coach, and I could bring him on and he'll tell you this entire story. All right. This is not me bullshit. There's a lot of stuff that came, and why when I look at these rings here, it means so much to me. It means so much to me that you would not even know. Right. So I go to him before the season and I say, hey, Coach Goff, if there's anything you need me doing, when it comes to helping out with drills or, coaching or doing anything like that, let me know, because you got to think, when I tore my ACL at Carson Newman, they had me filming practices. So, when it came to me, and when I got there, that was the first year I was at Stony Brook, and knowing where I was the year prior, having an ACL torn and rehabbing it, and really getting my academics right to get into the school, and then walk on there and then having to go through this and not even be eligible for games. When I look at all the rings that I've earned and a lot of the things that I've been a part of during college, this one hits home. This one hits home because I wasn't really known. It was hard to establish a group of friends when you're coming in and this is your second year of college. You don't have a group of, incoming freshmen that are being put through a process. You're not on scholarship or anything like that. It was one of those things where, and a lot of my teammates, the people that knew me back then, can validate this. But that night, man, let me tell you, grabbed a bottle of Bacardi and I started just giving out motivational speeches to everyone. I was giving out motivational speeches. I drank way too much, but you know what happens when you drink, and a drunk mind speaks to sober heart. And to know that I was there thumping with these guys and playing, and we actually were able to earn a ring and win that Big South. That one was really special. That was, to me, at that point, I really didn't have much more left in it. I didn't know it at the time, but I didn't have much more left in the tank as a player. It was such a rewarding day because, let me just give you an idea of what happened. That day, Good Counsel actually won the CAC championship for the first time in years. We would lose to DeMatha for years. So we won earlier. I think it was So Stony Brook wins the Big South, and then I go on my phone, I check some social media stuff, and I realized that my high school, Good Counsel, goes and wins the first time the WCAC championship. We beat DeMatha. There was so much going on, and I had too much Bacardi in me, and I'm around football teammates.